I first met my next guest, I think it was a couple years ago. I believe you were part of the Do Gooder Awards. It's Damaris Jackson. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you, Danny?
I'm good. I love, love, love what you do. You have Acton Children's Business.
That is, well, kind of, sort of. Acton's Children's Business Fair, Frederick, Maryland. There are many different businesses with the same name in different cities.
And so this program is to help kids develop a business and from start to finish, right? They have to do a business plan. They have to come up with a product. They kind of have to market test what they're doing. And then they register in September to be a booth vendor on Carroll Creek in November. That's so exciting.
It's wonderful. It's an awesome opportunity, and that's correct. Children get to experience being business owners for a few hours and to learn the whole process that goes along with it, from thinking, what would people want to buy? How much would it cost me to make it? The time invested, how much I can sell it for to make a profit, and then decide, how are they going to finance their business? Do they have money saved up? Can they earn money by doing chores or helping others? Or do they have to borrow money from their parents or a friend? And how are they going to make sure they're going to pay that money back? They also have to practice promoting their product, a sales pitch. What are they going to tell the people that are coming to buy? And how are they going to set up their own business booth for people to see their products?
I mean, this is just phenomenal. I love when, because kids have no limits, right? They're not feared about like things that us adults are fearing about. So this is the perfect time for youngsters. And I'm talking, you start at the age of 6 all the
Yes.
way to 17, right? Or, well, they have to
17,
be in school.
well, between 6 and 17, or if they're FCPS students, then it goes up to 12th grade. Some students in the school system here in Frederick are a little bit older than 17. As long as
Right.
they're part of FCPS, then yes.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're in FCPS, you are eligible as a student to participate. But what great skills these young people get in thinking about kind of all of these things. And again, they still don't have that fear of maybe failure or fear of I have to pay my mortgage like some of us adults have to. And how creative they have been in coming up with things potentially to sell. Talk a little bit about how many years you've been doing this and, the success that you've had over the past few years.
Thank you. Yes, we started 3 years ago in 2021. And the first year we were targeting 20 businesses, and each business can have up to 3 owners. Well, the first year we had 50. So we decided to accept 50 businesses the second year, but we got 110.
Yeah.
Well, we decided that we were going to have to put a limit because it just gets a little bit too overwhelming. And then with the number of people that are buying, when you have, 20 businesses with the same product, some children may not be able to sell their product. So we decided to put a cap on the business limit to 100 businesses. But because each business can have up to 3 owners, potentially we can have up to 300 children participate in the business fair.
When kids realize competition, right? We have a free market economy, and there are several businesses selling the same things, and it's great to learn what makes your product stand out. Is it just the first 100 that apply, or do they have to do some sort of pitch like Shark Tank to get to be one of the 100 that are featured?
Well, that would be something to consider in the future. I think it would be wonderful to have something like mini Shark Tank or something. But for now, what they have to do is fill out the application completely. Sometimes they leave out information like their business name or how much their product is going to cost or how they're going to promote their business. It's important to have a complete application, and then it's important to know that you're going to have a higher chance of getting in if you're not selling food. The reason being is because there are limitations. Uh, Most food is not, something they can sell. They cannot cook at home and bring it unless they already have a food license. Or if it's baking, there are some exceptions, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit more complicated.
Yeah. Well, look, if somebody is really good at baking cookies or cupcakes or things like that, then look, go through the process. Get a cottage license from the city of Frederick. Learn about, you have to do food handling. There's some classes you have to do, but I say, hey, if that's your thing, then you're going to have to do it properly in order to be included. But you showed some of the things that kids have done in the past. I think you had somebody who has done some 3D printing of items to sell. Someone's made dog toys. Again, I think that kids are so creative, and then when it gets down to how do you match your creativity with stuff that the market wants, consumers will pay for, and that's always fascinating to me to figure that out. And I do think, maybe not this year, but next year, I'm happy to be in on a Shark Tank virtual roundtable, I guess, of kids, because look, I think there is something to be learned from saying your thing out loud and being compared. And then maybe if there are a lot of products the same, we can, have corporations buy each other out and they can all form one
Yes,
big company.
I think that would be a wonderful idea.
The reason we're talking about this now is that the applications open in September. So you have the summer starting now to try to figure out what business you want to start, doing all of everything you need to, like understanding the cost and how much time it takes and all that good stuff, right?
That's correct. Summertime, normally kids are out of school and they have a little bit more free time to start thinking and maybe testing their products. If they're going to sell, for example, paintings, well, maybe they want to start thinking of ideas of what theme they're going to use and maybe talking to relatives, to friends, to see what they would like to do so that they have a clear market understanding of what people are potentially looking to buy.
Yeah. And, it's a great time to kind of put all of that together. Now, are there any resources available through your website to help kids kind of think about all of the stuff that they need? Or should we, ask them to look like on the Small Business Administration websites or Frederick City websites? Is there any place they can go to figure out like how to budget or how they have to calculate things?
Unfortunately, for now, we're very limited on the website. The only thing they will find if they go to the Q&A section is information that's going to go on the applications that potentially does help them because it's going to ask them for a business name, for their products, how much is going to cost them to make, how much are they selling them for, how they're going to promote their business, and other questions. So all of that will start getting them ready. Now, in
Yeah.
terms of products, ideas, in the future, we can possibly create links where they can get ideas. One of the things that I have to say, when my children participated the very first time many years ago, they didn't have starting capital. So what they did is that they shred paper and then they made their own recyclable paper and they extracted pigments from plants and vegetables and did organic paintings. And then they used essential oils to put a scent on the papers and to preserve them. And they were able to make, I don't know, maybe $200 from all that business. And it cost them just, a couple of dollars to make. A lot of time, but not a
Yes.
lot of money.
Yes. Well, that's what you find, right? You either have a lot of money or a lot of time invested in a business startup. That is so wonderful. And again, like I said, sometimes kids can look around and literally take trash and turn it into treasure. yeah, I think this kind of sparks some ideas for kids to understand that they can be in control of the money they're going to make as they grow up. They don't have to count on babysitting jobs or being hired by somebody else. They can actually do it themselves and have all of that control and power, which I think is wonderful.
And another thing is that they can sell services. For example, in the past, there's been children that know how to play an instrument well, and they will sell lessons like violin lessons or math tutoring. So that's another idea. They can offer a service. It doesn't need to be a product.
Yes, that's a great idea. And a lot of it comes down to the creativity and the presentation of the actual space. When you do, hopefully these kids who do the work this summer will be accepted into the fair, which is in November. And then you have to think about how you're going to present your company to the general public. Well, this is awesome, Damaris. We're looking forward to being involved and partnering with you on this, because I do think when you teach kids that they have control over their finances, they have control over what brings them in revenue or income as they grow into adults. I just think you're planting the best seeds ever. So I'm looking forward to being a part of it this year, and you'll be hearing more about it coming up. But certainly we want to make sure the kids are preparing this summer to apply in September, and I'll make sure you guys have all the information, including the website they're going to want to go to. Damaris, we thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me here, and I hope many children get to participate this year.